Good morning. It is April 21st, around 7:34? 7:40. Oh, running late yet again. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about something different. I'm talking about Sid Meier's Civilization V. Yeah, not a board game review, but a video game review. Anyway, so I've finished 2 complete playthroughs of the game, and I grew up playing these games, so they have a nostalgic soft spot for me. So if you've never played the game, you start off in the dawn of time, and you invent things such as the wheel and writing, and you progress through history, and your units, your military units, evolve as your technology evolves as well. So that's how the game works. And it's hex-based, so you're moving across terrain, and the terrain dictates your speed of movement, conjunctioned with how your technology is, if you're on horses or tanks, whatever. So, since I played 1 and 2, and a little bit of 4, and definitely have a pretty good grasp of 5, I would say that the game is as it was at the very beginning. It seems like very fancy Civ 1. Very well done Civ 1. I don't think that saying it's Civ 5 really is true, because it's the 5th incarnation, sure, but that's just kind of graphics. I would say that most of the tech tree is the same, which is horrible. You get to 2050 and the game pretty much ends. So Civilization ends in 2050, and also the technology pretty much craps out as well at 2050, or before that actually. So you get to like the internet, and your military, the best unit in the game is like a big mech, like a robot kind of thing, and stealth planes. And that's it. And I really think that this franchise, because it's so popular, because it's so endearing to its fans, always buy the next one, because I've always liked the game. Why not buy the new model? And I just don't understand why this game gets any more love. It's the same game. It's the same game over and over and over again. And it's not, for example, like the space victory is quite hard to get. I played this game the second time with the sole purpose of trying to get a space victory, and I did not. I was 1 turn away from getting it. My biggest complaint about the game is the technology. So I understand the game is about civilization, but it's also about technology. I really wish that the game, and I'm going to be pretty harsh here, would grow a pair and say, hey, we're going to make it possible for civilization to go in a different way. We're going to make technology available that maybe would have gone in a different capacity. For example, maybe living under the sea. For example, maybe living up in trees. For example, maybe living in airships. Just something. Instead of this samey old Iron Age era, blah, 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 nuclear era, new era. It's just so samey. Since people have been playing this game for over 20 years, and I understand, well, maybe new people coming into it, they want that same thing, but make it so the technology allows people to actually have different outcomes. When you play the game, it really makes it seem like that civilization could have only gone one way, and that is complete malarkey. I also really hate how the game just kind of caps out and ends. The civilization at 2050, that's it. I don't understand why they haven't just basically taken the game and said, okay, let's take it into space. Let's basically have a dual game where now you're in space mining the asteroids for different minerals, for different ships, to actually go to Alpha Centauri instead of just saying we're going to go to Alpha Centauri off of the bread and butter of the planet Earth, or having moon bases. It just seems like they can just pump out another prettier version of the same game and they're still going to make the same amount of money. Now, they did a Civilization like After Earth game where they went to another planet, but it was basically the same game, just on a different planet, which I think, again, is just incredibly lazy. I really wanted to like this game, and I do like this game, but it just seems very, very sing-songy. It's the same game I played when I was 12 years old, just with much better graphics. Ooh, the mountains look great. I understand they're going to make a lot of money off this game now into the future, but I just think that staying true to Sid Meier's original thought has really held this franchise back. This is why I really like the colonization version of the game, where you are going through the pre-industrial era, where you are making goods and you're trying to develop a really strong economy. The version of the game with colonization is all about basic resources, economy, and building up an army. But it's incredibly difficult. In Sid Meier's Civilization, now again, I've only played it twice, and I have not played it on like hard or crazy mode, but I didn't find it very complicated. I found it very straightforward. Also, I thought the diplomacy of the AI was just incredibly simplistic, and you couldn't really do very much. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a lot more minutia to it than I have seen in my 2 playthroughs, but very little makes me want to go back and play that game a third time, especially because the runtime is in the range of 30 hours per game, maybe 25. It's a long time to be hitting next turn. Now, I love turn-based strategy games, and I really like a lot of the graphics and the display of the game. I took the small tutorial, but it did not really tell me like how to manage a city. It did not really tell me why, and this is an expansion, that I need to have religion. The only point of religion that I saw was near the beginning of the game when they decide the world's religion for points for the World Congress or whatever. I saw myself doing a lot of things, and just because I wanted to do them, there was like no points, no achievements, like circumnavigating the world. You don't get anything for that. You don't get Magellan. And a lot of the people that come up, the famous people, scientists, they just kind of do this one-off thing, and that's great, and it improves your cultural points. I just thought the game was very flat while being pretty. I thought that it was interesting. At the same time, it was extremely, extremely boring. Again, maybe the game would be more enjoyable playing it with another person, but I have a very hard time playing it instead of a game like Total War, where your units will actually get better over time. This was another thing that a friend of mine brought up, that let's say I have a unit and I've kept that unit for over 100 years. Nothing happens. No, it doesn't get a name. It doesn't become anything special. And at the end of the game, nothing happens. You just get a single still frame with some man talking in the background. You don't have any cool little video about all your achievements that you have procured over the game. No great synopsis. It's just like, you won. Yay. How cheap is that? This is an expensive, beautiful game, and yet at the end they have no kind of specialized victory video for you. That's just so weak, especially because it's all pre-programmed anyway. Anyway, I just found the game extremely disappointing, and yet, again, like it's so nostalgic that I think that people are going to play it for a long time, and new people can still get on board and play it as well. So those are my thoughts on Civilization V. Have a great day, y'all.